Hey, welcome. It is great to have you here. This is going to be a show about starting from scratch, starting your business from scratch. And, there's been a lot going on that I want to talk about, obviously, want to get into, and interesting information, quite honestly, related to the channel and how I'm approaching all this. But for those of you who really want to get into the building your business from scratch, well, that's what we're going to talk about first. Obviously, the most important part about starting a business is starting. I mean, that alone is that, hey, thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Starting alone is the biggest factor when it comes to success and failure. And I know you've probably heard that a number of times, but you have to remember, there's no way for you to truly understand what you need to fix until you go through the process. So that's why it's so important, because you have to fix things. You have to learn how to do things and implement what we like to refer to as the success combination 7-5-3-1. You're going to gradually develop that 7 over time. And the 7 is 7 sources of income. But in the beginning, you need to start off focused on exactly what it is that you want to do, who you're serving, the problems you're solving. And you have to be active. You must be active out in the community. You need to let people know what is going on, what your plans are. You have to do that. If you don't let people know that you are offering the service, getting out there, a lot of times people put a shingle on the door and they never open the door and go outside of their business. And that business could be the basement of your house, an home office, or a storefront. They never leave it. I saw about 10 years ago, a guy who had nothing to do with the ice cream business decided to open up an ice cream store in my community. And the next thing I know, I saw him everywhere. He was participating in everything within my community. And I knew this guy is going to sell a lot of ice cream. He was taking ideas from the community about new types of ice cream and crazy flavors and all, just developing relationships. He had the social media people in, he talked about it, giving ice cream to the free social media, people who could share, if you come in and share on Instagram or Twitter, and he gave you a little bit of ice cream, and it worked. I was just in downtown Detroit and saw that he has a new location downtown. And I know he's doing the same thing there because he got active in the community, didn't wait for people to discover him. He knew that he had to be part of that community to make it work. And so that's what he did. He got active and he's been persistent and he's reinvented his business in many ways, many times over. And it's been an amazing ride to watch it. But when you start your business from scratch, as we know, we have to focus on that number 1 in our code, 7-5-3-1. Start off with your channel. Develop your channel. And your channel could be Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whatever that channel is. Build the community online if that's what you need to do. In this case, his channel, I think, really was a personal channel, personal approach. He did have Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, but he depended on other people to share the story of what was going on there. And this is a channel, and I think it's a channel that maybe I should do a video on this. A channel can certainly be, if you're in a local position, to develop that community, it can be one-on-one. I think that's a really good way to look at it. But that takes a lot of work. Obviously, you need to be out there. That means going to all the events and shaking hands and letting people know that your store is down the street. So I think for retail establishments, that is a great avenue. But for a lot of us, that's not the avenue. We're looking for people all over the place, all over the country, all over the world to buy our products and services. And so we need to build our channels online. I've been going through growing pains in my company. Good. It's a good thing. But the good thing is that I already started up with number 3, which is having having 3 processes, because I have to improve what I'm doing to become more efficient. And fortunately, I already had processes in place and know how to just re-implement. So I've been fine-tuning processes that were already in place, especially for my search engine optimization clients, because I have so many more and I need to do things efficiently and better. And I also have a system. I use a point system, which I won't get into here, but I know that when I get to 200 points, I'm starting to max out, and I'm almost at 200 points for me doing this personally. And when I worked within another company, when someone got to about 200 points, I knew I had to start looking for somebody else. I was going to have to hire somebody else. I had a system. I knew when I had expectations that people could do 200-300 points worth of work. And then when people got to about 200, it was time to start looking for another person to add on. And I have that in place. So I know what it is I need to do. And that's why these systems are so important. And of course, you don't forget about those 5 people that support you. And as I mentioned, the 7 is really, this is a goal down the road. So one of the things, hey, Harley, how you doing? So the points are a way of measuring workload. Yes. So the points are a way of, since you asked, Harley, the way I do it is, especially for search engine optimization, different tasks have a point value. And so what I do, and I actually have a system to be able to figure out, what it allows me to do is figure out, based on talking with the client, where we need to go. And I've built calculators. And what I do is I put in, okay, this, these are the different parts that we need to know. Here's the difference between the competition and where the client is. This is where we want to go. And bam, at the bottom is a point system that's calculated. Okay. And from there, I know that I charge so much per point. And so that's how I know how much to charge the client. But at the same time, with that point system, I know this is how much work the team has to do to satisfy what is needed to meet the goals of the client. So it works all the way through. Now I have different activities that are related to the point. So one activity may be worth 3 points, another may be worth 5 points or 7 points or 1 point. And this shifts all the time based on the algorithm. And I also apply points to pay-per-click advertising and things like that. So there's a lot of things that I will apply these points to. And I know that 200 points is kind of a good workload. If you're moving along, if you get to about 300 or more points, well, then you're getting pretty stretched. You're really working hard. And that's when I know that, I'm getting close to that with the SEO, what's on my plate, not to mention on other members' plates. So yeah, that's the way I go about it. And so when I know there are 200 points, I can see the workload. So it does. It allows, Harley says, interesting idea, allows you to normalize estimation across different types of tasks. Absolutely. And I've been using this for years. And so because I've been getting so many more clients, I've been when a lot of times it's mostly me doing a lot of the work, you just kind of know this is what I got to do each month. But now that I have a deeper bench of people working with me, and as well as me doing a lot of work, I need to get some of this off my plate. I need to know at what level I can work, basically to pay for myself, right? And then at what point I need to hire more people. So that's where I am. But most of the work right now, because it's mostly me and freelancers, most of the folks that started with me have moved on, and I haven't replaced them. So just because of the way I structure the business and what I've been focusing on. So that's where I am. And so fortunately I had that point system in place. And I recommend a lot of people start to develop that, especially when you start the business. I had this stuff when I started my business from scratch. When I spun off from the other company, I had to put these things into play for my own business, and I made my adjustments, and I continue to do so. So that's That's pretty cool. It's all working out, and I'm happy that I had it in place. I mean, practicing what I preach, knowing that having processes in place really does make running and growing a business easier. Not easy, easier. And some of having these different elements, it just allows you, like, of course, we've talked about that I have that chart, and where are you in that chart from 0 to 10, and it allows you to just kind of check in and just make note. Hey, okay, out of this, how many sources of income do I have? If this main source of income dries up or technology comes around and makes it obsolete, what is it? Am I still going to be in business? Just having that conversation is important. At least it won't be a surprise. And that's what these things are, check-ins. Am I doing anything to improve my processes? And do I have a channel? Am I developing a voice that gives me a good distribution method with a channel? So again, things we need to consider: the unique success combination, understanding our value. And that's what this channel really has become about. And, understanding the different elements, if how it has value and adds value and creates more value to your business. And then using your unique success combination, being mindful of that. And what is the combination that makes you successful? All these elements just all come together under this big umbrella of this channel. And I think where I'm going to go with this, moving forward, is that maybe 80% of my time on this channel will be live. And hey, Harley, you visit a lot of my live streams. Do you think that maybe just doing the lives here, because what I've been doing over at the other channel, I've been doing this 31 days of business, supporting photographers with business, and it's going really well. I mean, the click-through rates and the engagement, not so much the engagement rates, but the retention rates are huge. Literally, the retention rate of today's video, although it only has 20 views, it has 90% retention. And in these past few day videos, 6, 7, 8% click-through rate. So I can only assume these are going to pop at some level. And people do like them. So yeah, thank you. I mean, a lot of the retention, very few. I mean, we're talking about, sometimes it gets down to 55%, but that's on like a 13-minute video. So that's the kind of stuff that's happening. And, some videos get a better click-through rate than others. And some of it has to do with how much YouTube is showing the video. So I really just, I did this and started doing this thing. Okay. I've always known that this channel is where a lot of my community is, the other channel. It had gotten up to 800 subscribers by me ignoring it practically, throwing a video up every once in a while. And it's at 800 subscribers. I figured, you know what, if I go all in on that channel, I probably can have the channel I was hoping this channel would be. But I like this channel because it does have so much, and it's been kind of like a playground for me. And it's allowed me to create these ideas and build off these ideas and get feedback and support a community of people. Because a lot of times, here's a great interesting fact. Yesterday, I got 11 new subscribers on the other channel. I got 12 on this one. So it shows that, people on that channel go to this channel too and are also looking for support here. And so I don't want to leave. This is more general, open, mainstream. So I think the channels really can work together. However, it's my audience, the core audience that I've been supporting for over 10 years with podcasts, with blog posts and books. Those are the people, that's the stuff I know. And those are the people that really respond to what I have to say. And so, now that it's at 800, I don't feel like, okay, I'm giving up my 1,000 subscriber channel for a 100 subscriber channel and starting over. It's happened now. I'm almost to 900 from over the last couple of weeks, and I'm sure I'm going to hit 1,000 pretty soon. And hey, there you go. Now I have 2 1,000 subscriber channels, and I can feel good about going where the audience is, which again has been a good clue that YouTube has been giving us. Go where your audience is. It's kind of like the old real estate, idea: location, location, location. And it's true with your business and starting a business from scratch. I mean, I did not want to start a YouTube channel from scratch in an area that I thought I might burn out on. But in many ways, this channel has given me so much that I can bring to the other channel that I feel like, hey, I'm good with it. I have a lot I can talk about, and I can still experiment here and build the community here and serve the community here. And I have a feeling a lot of the people here are also photo related and creatives, obviously. So I don't think I'm getting a lot of corporate types, following me on this channel. And then, of course, I have the Rosh Media channel, which I am, after this month, will be really focusing in on that and start doing the tutorials that I said I would do, because I think that's going to do well from a search perspective. All right, Harley. The other channel is more of a niche to help the algorithm. Absolutely. This one covers similar material for a broad audience. They complement each other. Yeah, but you totally get it, Harley. This is a broader channel and a broader, there is no one big thing. I've been trying to create themes and they're there and the channel grows and it's awesome. But the other one has that photographer wanting to grow their business theme. That's a lot more niche than this one. A lot of the same themes, a lot of the same ideas, except I'm talking to the person with a camera in their hand. And that, it's a lot easier for someone to go from one topic to another because they know it's going to support this photography business. And where sometimes people run across the channel because they're interested in some of what I talked about SEO, about Facebook, Twitter, whatever it may be, maybe a tutorial that was here. So yeah, it's a lot easier to grow that other channel. And I think it will grow. I think it'll surpass this one if I really focus on it pretty quickly. Harley, sort of following the channel cluster idea that Daryl Eves was talking about a while ago. Absolutely. Yes. I mean, that certainly, the thing is, I was thinking that this channel would support the other channel, but it's obviously the other channel with a more focused audience will support this channel and even the Rosh Media channel. I mean, I saw somebody the other day, literally, they found the photography channel. Within 2 minutes, they subscribed to this channel. And to my surprise, 3 minutes after that, they subscribed to the Rosh Media channel with the 5 tutorials I have on it. So yeah, they will all work together. And I think that with that idea of channel clustering in mind, the Rosh Media channel, which just has, quick tutorials, I'm kind of looking at it this way, breaking down the internet. Just quick bits of information that people are looking for. I mean, that's my most successful video that I have with over 60,000 views is a video on, how to change your Facebook business name from about three years ago. Is over 60,000. It'll probably be my first 100,000 video. And other variations, other types of videos like that are always my best performing videos. So I'll let that be the channel cluster there. And those who are photographers and creatives can go to the other channel. And those who just want general marketing information can come here. And I'll mostly do, I think from this point on, just because I have over 800 videos here, I'll mostly do lives to answer the questions, which of course I now have that conversation. This is one thing I think that people, and forgive those who watch this later say, wow, you talk so much YouTube on these lives. Well, we're on YouTube and, talking YouTube on YouTube is not an outrageous thing. And a lot of folks who watch the lives have questions and follow up later. But I think quite often when starting your business from scratch, you have to understand that you're going to be making adjustments along the way. And you have to work through some of the stuff. And some of the stuff I'm working through out loud live, because that can help give you some ideas, whether it's working on the YouTube channel, which is in a sense of business, or my main Rosh Media business, or the photography portion of the business, working more and more in commercial, getting new commercial clients. I mean, that again, working through these problems, I think helps other people. They can see, one, they're not alone. And two, that we all have to work through these things. So when you're starting your business from scratch, you most certainly are not going to have all the answers in the beginning. And you most certainly will have to make changes along the way as attitudes change, as your clientele changes, as technology changes, as the political landscape changes for some people in some countries, as business cycles change. There's so many things that can change the way you approach your business that you need to always be reevaluating where you are. That's why starting a business from scratch is about starting and why you have to start. So yeah, I think as far as moving forward, that's where I am. Not that I won't put new videos here, because I think it's important. I'm developing concepts and I kind of test them out here and see what people, how people react, what questions people have. And I think I'll test those out here before I send them over to the photography business channel. And I think all three of them will work together over time. So, but I'm having a good time live. Oh, and where I was going, because I was going back to thinking again of bringing the podcast back to this channel, because as you know, those of you who watch the podcast, I've even considered not doing the podcast live. I'll do lives here, but not do the podcast live anymore. It's been an interesting experiment, and maybe on Monday, I haven't decided yet. I'm looking for feedback, because I think I can do a better podcast the way I've been doing it for many, many years. One advantage of going live is the fact that I have a standing time that I got to do it, because I put it in the system and said, hey, I'm going to be there. But Mondays can still be my podcast day, but I can do it in the morning, get it done, get it out. And I'm also thinking about the YouTube podcast and doing both of them when I can do them both pretty quickly, straight up, and not have the live element. And I can still connect with people live this way, but I think, again, as I said before, I get a better result if I'm not live. But it's been worth it experimenting. Perhaps record the podcast live on YouTube, but edit it and post to the podcast later, like Tim Schmoyers does. Yes, unfortunately, that's so much more work. It really is, because the way I record my podcasts is that I record and then I stop when I flub. And then I back up and I begin again, back up. So maybe a 20-minute podcast will take me 35 minutes, but then I'm done out the door. It may not take much more time, but it is more flexible. So I'm going back and forth. I have not made a final decision on that. But if I look at this channel as more of the place to answer those questions, have the topics at hand, and go live here, say 80% of the time. The other channel is uploaded videos 80% of the time, and maybe once in a while answering questions for photographers live. And then the other one is purely a search channel. I think that's going to be a good mix for now. And I know, Harley, you've watched this long enough that you've seen me make adjustments all the way along. And we're always experimenting. And I know you are too. We always are experimenting and trying new things as we continue to grow our businesses and to grow our channels. So I think it's I'm about 70% there, but again, looking for feedback from more and more people on that topic. All right, I think I'm going to go for now, and thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Those of you who are catching on the replay, feel free to put your comments below and ask questions about what are your pain points when it comes to starting your business. Have you started yet? I want to hear what your pain points are. I look forward to reading them, and I look forward to answering your questions. We'll talk to you next week. I will most likely be live next week on this channel, at least once a week, and we'll go from there. Thank you. Have a great day.